Hi friends, this is me Siddhi Mapsankar. I'm co-founder of fashion label Mapsankar and founder of digital fashion learning platform called SEFT where you can learn fashion online. I have an immense experience in fashion over 15 years and today I'm here to explain how you can become a fashion designer and start your label from scratch. So before you start your fashion brand, the most important thing is you have to take either a formal education from reputed college like NIFT, NID, and there are other colleges, private colleges also. But if you don't have the privilege to go to a college or don't have the resources, you can do online certification courses. And what is really important in this case is you do some sort of formal skill learning training because it will make you much more confident. Fashion designing is not just about sketching. A lot of times students think I'm good at sketching, I can become a good fashion designer. But these two things are completely different. Sketching is ideation, where your idea is coming onto the paper, but there are multiple things, multiple steps that make a whole garment into a 3D reality. You should have knowledge of pattern making, or not very extreme knowledge of sewing, but you should know at least the basics of sewing. You have to understand styling or photo shoot. Then there is business part of fashion that also something you cannot ignore. So take a formal education or short-term courses. Make sure that you are thorough with your knowledge in fashion before you foray into starting your own fashion brand. An important thing that really helped me before I started my own fashion brand Mapsankars, I made sure even after my certificate course at NIFT, I went and worked with a reputed designer, Arjun Khanna, for 3 years. Working with him, was a real-time institutional experience itself. So I highly encourage, if not full-time job, you must at least dedicate some amount of time for internship, because the kind of knowledge which you're going to get on field is something else. So don't take it for granted. As much as possible, go for internships, go to work for at least short-term jobs that will make you aware of the industry, and it will also help you save a lot of money in the future, because whatever trial and error you need to do, you can right now do on somebody else's money. You know what I mean? When you are in a different company, you don't have that sort of pressure when you have in your own company, when you launch your own label. So learn everything when you are doing internship, and even if it's a short-term job. But this is something I highly recommend because it has truly worked for me. So assuming you have had your formal training and understanding of various verticals in fashion, and if you have had the privilege of doing internship or short-term job, then define your mission and vision for the brand. Now, for example, if you look at Anita Dongre, it's Indian craftsmanship. It's such a brand identity of her brand. So make sure you have a proper definition of what your brand stands for, what is the long-term vision, what is the brand portfolio looking like. All these things have to be structured before you start your fashion label. After that, conduct a market research and identify your niche. When you do market research, you will have so many insights. You'll be able to create something which is not available in the market. Even if you create something which is already there in the market, just ask yourself, can you do it better at better pricing, of higher quality? So there is always something you can give better in the market, because yes, this is a highly crowded and competitive field. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. So you have to come up with an identity, a value proposition where people are choosing to buy you. So make sure all this study is done thoroughly before you jump onto making the product. Thirdly, create a business plan. Before you foray into even product development, make your business plan which is thorough, where you know about your marketing budgets, your inventory, your negotiations with the vendors, fabric suppliers, so on and so forth. Now, it is very important while you're doing your market research, you also understand what category you want to foray into. Many a times, homegrown brands or boutique designers, they end up doing anything and everything. it's always important to know what category you want to start with. This is the mistake which I had done when I just started on my entrepreneurial journey. I took too many categories in the beginning. I would highly recommend don't start more than one or two category, because it will really help you saving a lot of money in the beginning. The next important step is design and develop your products. Now this is so crucial, and I see this mistake most of the designers making. They jump onto this step as the first step. Okay, this step should come after what we have discussed earlier. Now within this step also, when you are designing, make sure you give enough amount of man hours in research, ideation, design process before you jump on to making the garments. Make sure you spend enough time in prototyping, sampling. Also, if you have multiple vendors, and if you're outsourcing your work from manufacturing units, make sure you work with multiple people to just get the right budgets and the right quotation. Don't just commit to the first person who comes along, because you never know, you could be taken for right. So try to get quotes from multiple manufacturing units, negotiate, try to get the best rates as you can. If you are in a position to have your own unit with your masters and tailors, nothing like it. But not everybody may have that sort of capital. In that case, I would highly recommend at least first few collections you can easily outsource from the existing manufacturing units. The next step is building your brand portfolio. Now, brand portfolio is very important because it is visual representation of what your brand stands for. Make sure you select the right color scheme, right logo, get it trademark. Make sure all this process comes together in a very cohesive manner. Don't keep it for later. Many times designers do a mistake where they keep their trademark and important registrations for later. And believe you me, sometimes you can get surprised. You can see copies of your logo in the market even before you realize. So don't do that mistake. Get the right trademarks done. And also keep your visual identity constant along all the platforms. There has to be a clear communication. So defining your brand portfolio is very important. Next is establish an online presence and sales channel. Now, I particularly like for a new designer to have a website, which is a must in today's day and age. Besides that, you can have your online store on Instagram, WhatsApp, because in the initial years of your business, you may not, all of you all may not find it, affordable to have a store. A physical store will cost a lot of money. Real estate is expensive in this country, especially if you are in tier 1 cities. So make sure leverage the power of internet, have your website, set up a Instagram store, WhatsApp store. Make sure you do the right online strategies, set a budget which is dedicated for digital marketing, which will pull your sales. To boost your sales continuously, make sure you have continuous feedback mechanism, have a great customer service. This will help you elevate your brand further. So now that your collection is ready, you develop a thorough marketing strategy and also a launch strategy. It's very important to assign an X amount of budget for your marketing, because in initial days, nobody will know you unless you talk about yourself. Yes, this is a field where you have to invest, come what may, some amount for marketing, especially in the initial years of your business. So what you can do is try to collaborate with influencers, do PR campaigns, do interesting launches, create buzz, make sure people who matter wear your clothes. That helps you to elevate brands. Network with a lot of stylists, people in PR and marketing, so they can do all this thing for you in better budgets. I always stress upon how important networking is in fashion, especially because a lot of time with your right relationship and friendship, you're going to save a lot of money, because these peers will come around when you're launching something and root for you. So next step is managing your operation and scaling your business. Once you have had your launch, you will get a clear understanding of how the response is of the market to your collection. Now, if you're somebody who is into made to measure, customized clothing, then of course you are doing clothes with bigger margins. And if you're somebody who is into ready to wear or in pret collection, you will need more inventory to scale your clothing business. So whether you come from whichever category, make sure you make a thorough plan and have a very proper operation system. Many a times I have seen you might create a kick-ass collection, but if you cannot handle the operation and deliver on time, your reputation gets affected. So make sure that you do this planning way ahead of time. So now let's quickly recap all the points. First, you define your brand identity. Second, you conduct market research and find out your niche. Third is create your thorough business plan. Fourth is design and develop your product line. Fifth is build your brand portfolio. Sixth is establish an online presence. Seventh is develop a marketing and launch strategy. Eighth is manage operation and make a plan to scale your business. So I hope these steps are going to help you immensely when you're launching your brand from scratch. Now, if there is anything that you need to know in the field of fashion, feel free to ask about it in the comment. I would love for you to like, share and subscribe. That will help our channel to grow. This is me, Siddhi, signing off for now. See you soon. God bless.